Hey guys, Boss Talden here. Today, I'll be showing you guys my own sensitivity in CODM. Not only my sensitivity as well as my button layouts, just basically CODM settings. Alright, so some of my friends are actually asking me this kind of questions. Aside from my loadout, they're asking me, show us your button layouts, show us your settings, show us this, show us that. So yeah, so I guess this is the video for that, yeah? I did made a video about this on Facebook, but I guess YouTube is a different thing. And yeah, fine. Here it is. Without further ado, it is. So I use advanced mode on both MP and BR. So they're both custom. And I only ADS on these guns. So I don't use ADS on shotguns. They're always on hip. Sniper rifles are also on hip fire. Marksman's is close to sniper rifle, so they're also on hip. And same thing goes to BR. So yeah, they're very identical. Yeah, always hip fire on shotguns, basically. That's the rule. Alright, so here are my button layouts on MP. So you can see, I use 3 fingers. And okay, to be honest with you, I use 4 fingers. The 4th finger is for support. Here are my jump buttons. And yeah, I just set these opacity to be very low, near invisible, so that it doesn't really ruin the viewing experience. Some people use 4 fingers and a gyroscope. Some people use 3 fingers and a support finger, which is total of 4 fingers. Some people use 6 fingers because they use a tablet, while me, I use 3 fingers in total, or in primary, you know. Now, what does it mean if you have a 4th finger acting as a support? It basically means that that support finger isn't actively being used, and it's only being used rarely. Say for example in BR, that's where I use my 4th finger. So yeah, here are my BR button layouts. They're identical to the MP, so you don't have to literally change much. So we're going to the basic modes now, right here. So always have aim assist because we're in mobile. It depends on the person actually. I have fixed right fire button because I don't want it to move that much. My virtual joystick on the left isn't fixed because I always move my left thumb, and that's pretty much it. ADS is that tap to ADS, and I always have fire button on the left to be always displayed because it automatically shoots on hip fire. Yeah, so I slide while running, tap crouch button, and all these kinds of things. I don't use gyroscopes, alright, I don't use gyroscope, guys, so don't really care about that. So I also set my FOV, or field of view, to max so that I see a lot more vision. So yeah, basic settings on BR. I always have auto loot. I don't have auto open doors because it's kind of annoying when you want to just not open doors. So yeah, they're basically the same in MP. Not much is changed here. They're both the same in MP. Tap crouch button, sensitivity, same. And over here, vest visibility, I have it all visible. So my vest on my own character is visible to my eyes, as well as vest on my enemies are also visible in my eyes. Some people prefer to only have others visible, which is the middle here, because they want to enjoy their skins. But for me, I want to see the armor, if I'm wearing one or not. So yeah, so we'll be moving here in the graphics section. I have my graphic quality at medium. I don't have high available on my phone. Sorry guys. Frame rate at high so that at least I get more frames. I have real-time shadows on, and yeah, depth of field. So over here, BR mode graphic style, I have dynamic. It's by default, it's on standard. I don't like standard because it's a bit dark. I don't like realistic because it tries to be realistic. I chose dynamic so that I have bright lights and bright everything. Bright environment makes me see clear, you know. It's very helpful. And also the adjust screen here on the bottom, it's just nothing. Alright, you don't need to see that. Alright, we're moving here on the audio. I turn off music volume because as a video editor, it's kind of hard to edit music if there's already music present. it's kind of hard, and I can't remove that specific music because it's already on here on the settings. So the only way to remove that is by turning it off here. And I also don't have ambient volume. Ambient volume is environmental sounds, say for example birds chirping in the game, like what I have here. I don't have a quiet room, and I guess like rainwater, something like that. So yeah, I don't really want to hear that. So here, the most weighted question, sensitivity. So look at what you want here. Sensitivity is same on BR as well. So sensitivity switch. So there's two kinds of sensitivity here. There's ADS and there's hipfire. So ADS is aim down sights. So once you aim down your sights, the sensitivity switches to the ADS mode. And then once you remove ADS, it switches to hipfire mode or the standard mode. So sensitivity presets here, I don't really set it on low, medium, or high. I have it on custom because custom works for best. Guys, it depends. My sensitivity and button layouts depends on the user, right? It may or may not work for you. So over here, these are my sensitivity. Yeah, I don't really use sniper rifles that much, so you can see that the 3x tactical scope, 4x, 6x, 8x all seem like untouched. Is because I don't really use scopes, you know. If I do have a sniper rifle, I don't put a 6x scope or a 4x scope on it. I just have it by default. So yeah, firing sensitivity is when you shoot. It also gives you another different sensitivity. So yeah, here are mine. Like I said, I don't use the scopes, so they seem untouched. I don't use gyroscopes. You all know that, so I have these by off. I never touch them, never turn them on, at least once. So yeah, ignore the gyroscope. I mean, I don't use it, so why look at it, right? Now let's switch to BR mode. Basically the same, honestly. Except here, because there's third person sensitivity and first person view turning sensitivity. Yeah, they're both different. So that means they're both different, because there's two kinds of BR. There's third person and first person. So keep that in mind. I'm mostly notorious for first person plays, but I can do third person as well. I mean, I started third person, so here is the BR settings. You can see that the sensitivity on snipers is a bit reduced compared to MP. That's because you don't expect me to quick scope in BR. The reason for you to use sniper rifles in BR is to hit targets at long range, not quick scoping, right? So the sensitivity here is very low compared to MP. Firing sensitivity is, I think, a bit similar to MP mode, except for the optics here. There's no optics there. And as well as the scope sensitivity here is lower than MP mode. I don't use gyros, so ignore this. And free view sensitivity, the eye over here, is set to 115. I don't know why it's always being changed every time I look higher at sensitivity. It's kind of weird. We'll move on to BR settings. Here are my layouts for driving a vehicle. I mean, I don't know if that's important for you guys. And I always set vehicle HP to be visible so that I know the condition of my chopper or condition of my vehicle. Loot settings, however, these are my loot settings. I know you can see that there's a lot of adrenaline I have to take. Alright? And it fills a lot of slots. So if you're going squad versus squad, I don't really advise you to do this, but this is just me. Alright, I'm doing squads versus squads, so I always have 10 adrenalines, 5 first aids, 5 armor plates, and 10 hemostats. If you're doing solo versus squads, I suggest you have 10 armor plates, 6 adrenalines, or maybe 4 adrenalines, so that you can compensate for more grenades as well, and 10 first aid kits. So yeah, by Lito, here are the grenades. I use 3 grenades. That's the maximum I pick, because more than 3, it fills up another slot. So yeah, that's good enough for me. I don't use concussions because I rarely use them, as well as flashbangs. I mostly use smokes and grenades. Anything that explodes, anything that covers my tracks, that's what I always use. So yeah, Nova Gas is there so that in case of a tank, you know, you want to flush them out there. And cluster grenades are there so that, you know, AoE damage of a grenade. Serial bombs, I don't really use serial bombs because they're just multiple flashbangs that I don't use. So if you're doing solo versus squad, like I said, just reduce the amount of adrenaline, and I guess you should increase the grenade count. I suggest you get more smokes if you're that kind of person, more Nova gases, or more clusters, or just change it up a notch. Just get flashbangs or concussions. Remember, concussions are OP in BR. Like the duration of concussion is so OP. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Quick message, I mean, you don't really need to see this. Controllers, never used a controller before. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video of me showing my own settings, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.